Hello, welcome to another week's reading vlog. It is Monday, I'm starting this on Monday. It's Monday evening, it's just gone 8 p.m. and I am not gonna lie to you. I have spent all day sat in this position. I'm still in my pyjamas. I got up this morning, had a shower and put my pyjamas back on. It's been one of those days. I've sat in this very position and played a shit ton of Animal Crossing. I think I needed some brain relaxing time. So that's what I've done. I have started a book though, and that is the beast I need to tackle this week, being Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb. I have to read this beast this week. It's a chunker, because I am now part of Becca's book club that are doing the Elderling along, so I need to read this by Sunday. I've been given so much notice. I'm looking forward to it though. I'm looking forward to reading this. I really enjoyed the first book, so I'm hoping I enjoy this one as much, if not more. I think I'm going to enjoy it more. I have started it though. I am currently 91 pages in, so I've read 90 pages today. I think my plan is to aim for like 100 pages a day, that way I should finish it on time. So I still have a little bit left to read today, probably another chapter or so, but that's fine, I will do that. I have the audiobook because the audiobook's actually on Scribd, so I've been like hopping between listening to the audiobook whilst playing some Animal Crossing, and then when I can hear it's like getting interesting, I've been reading along with the audiobook, so kind of like flicking between the two. And I think that's probably how I'll go about it for the rest of the week. Animal Crossing wise, I've made a big change on my island today. I have demolished an area that was probably one of the first areas that I actually made. I've moved a building, I've done a fair bit of terraforming, and I'm not entirely sure if it was a massive mistake or not. I've been wondering about this. If I could somehow do an island tour, would you be interested in that? Does enough people here care about Animal Crossing to warrant an island tour? Like, would you want one when my island's kind of where I'm happy with it? Let me know, because I can probably work out a way to record the screen on Jake's computer, because Jake's got a proper flashy computer and my laptop's pants. So I could probably work out how to do that and like, do you want it? Let me know. But yeah, that's the plan. I am now continuing playing Animal Crossing, catching up on some YouTube because I haven't really been online at all today other than playing Animal Crossing, which I haven't even been online for that, and it's been solo player. So yeah, I literally have not been on the internet today, so I'm now catching up on some YouTube because there's been some uploads. I have not edited last week's vlog at all, and it's now gone 8 p.m. Might just put it up tomorrow instead because I can't be arsed. Also, last week's vlog was so pants. I kind of don't want to upload it at all, but I'll edit it and see what I've got. You'll know if it's up or not. I'll probably put it up just for consistency's sake, but like, Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna continue playing Animal Crossing. Hello, 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 it's Tuesday. I was planning on vlogging a lot earlier today, but it's now 10:30. I filmed my May wrap-up earlier. It took so long, but it's done, and now I'm probably going to put off editing it for bloody ages because it took so long, but it's done. I've cleared out the TBR cart where my like wrap-up section was. It looks nice and empty. I'm really happy with that. So hopefully a wrap-up will be up at some point. Hopefully it will be up before this vlog. I really, really hope so. Otherwise, I've played a lot of Animal Crossing today, which is exactly what I did yesterday as well. I like Animal Crossing. Is that new information to anybody? No, I don't think it is. I finished continued sorting out what I was messing with yesterday. The thing about if you want a tour still stands. Like, let me know. I'm probably gonna add more to it tomorrow. Anyway, reading-wise, look at me go. I'm up to here in Royal Assassin. I'm up to page 241. So I read like 140 pages today, which is 40 more than I needed to, which is really good. I'm happy with how this is going. I'm liking where this story is going. Like, it doesn't seem as, I want to say, as action-y as the first one, like, but I'm not that far. Like, there probably will be more action later. But like, Fitz is growing, and I like what's happening. I think it's gonna end terribly, but like, my emotions are growing, which means it's probably gonna break my heart, but I'm feeling things that I know are not gonna end well for anybody involved. Because when does anything ever end well for the characters involved? Ever. Never. So yeah, there's that. I'm enjoying myself. It's such an easy story to fall back into. Because it's book 2, like, it has kind of reminded me of the things of book 1 quite easily. Like, it's jogged my memory for things that happened, which I'm really grateful that it did, because although I didn't read the first one that long ago, like, I definitely couldn't remember things. But it's jogged my memory, so that's all good. But yeah, I like where this is going, but like, I don't, because it's gonna break my heart. Does that make sense? If you don't know what Royal Assassin is, it's the second book in the Farseer trilogy by Robin Hobb. The first one is Assassin's Apprentice, about a young boy called Fitz, who is the bastard son of the King in Waiting, who, when he discovers he has a bastard son, he abdicates the throne, runs away, and Fitz is left by his maternal grandfather in the care of the stable hand, because his birth mother doesn't want anything to do with him anymore. His father clearly doesn't want anything to do with him anymore, so he's kind of raised by the stable hand, and because of his unique blood, like, he's part royal, part peasant, he's in a unique political position, and the king kind of uses him and trains him up as an assassin. It's the second book in that. But like, Fitz's life is not smooth. But I'm liking it. I like the politicalness of it. I like political fantasy, and that's what's going on. There's lots of politics at play in court, as there always is. I really like the Queen in Waiting. Her character. Yeah. I won't talk too much about that though, because I don't want to spoil anything, because it's the second book in the series, but I'm enjoying myself and I'm looking forward to reading more. As for right now, like, I'm probably just gonna take my makeup off, and honestly, I'm really tired. I might go to bed. It's too early to go to bed, it's only 10:30. I don't know. Maybe I'll read some more. Maybe I'll start White Rage. I really want to read that. I was supposed to start it last week, and I didn't. So I think I might start White Rage. I will chat to you, honestly, probably tomorrow. I'm not going to check in with you again today, but I really want this week's vlog to be better than last week's. Because I put last week's vlog up at like midnight last night. It was so shit. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna stop rambling. Bye! Hello folks, it's Friday afternoon, nearly 6 o'clock, and I have finished Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb. I didn't think I would actually get it finished within 5 days. I expected to be kind of going up to the line on Sunday, but I had like the last 250-ish pages to read today, and I just read the lot. It's pretty much all I've done all day since I got up. And it's finished, and I I really, really enjoyed this. I have put it through Core Pile, and it's come out at a 4-star. The first book came out at a 4-star as well, but the score itself is as close to a 5-star that a 4-star can be. Like, if I just upped one of the scores by 1 point, then it would have been a 5-star. So, like, it's a really high 4-star for sure. I've come to care for these characters a lot more than I did in the first one. What I said about the first one was that it didn't really hit me in the feels enough for, like, what was happening. This one definitely had me more emotionally invested than the first one did. And I think a big point of why is Ketrican. I love Ketrican's character, and I'm so incredibly curious and intrigued and desperate to know what happens next, where this story goes next, because of what happened in this one. But yeah, I was really into the main plot. There was definitely aspects of the plot that weren't for me so much. I don't want to say too much on what, but there was a big point of, like, Fitz's relationship in this one and, like, the woman that he wants, and I wasn't too fond of that, and that was a big part of this story. But, like, the overall political plot is what I'm here for. I love political fantasies and, like, fighting for the throne. I'm all for that, and there was a whole lot of that as well. There was torture in this. I definitely think for a torture scene it could have been a lot more impactful, but I still really did enjoy this, and I'm definitely here for the plot. But yeah, I am enjoying this. I love political fantasies, and I'm very intrigued for what happens next. I am also now a part of Becca's book club. I've definitely already said that, haven't I? So there's a live show for this that I'm now a part of on Sunday. So it will have happened by the time this goes up. May have seen you there, I don't know. But yeah, it got a 4-star. I really hoped it was going to be a 5-star. I hoped, because this one's so much chunkier than the first one, that it would hit me a lot more. And it did hit me a little more. It has come out a couple of points higher than the first book did, but just not quite 5-star quality. So fingers crossed the third book in this trilogy could hit that 5-star mark for me. That would be nice. Because I feel like there is definitely so much potential in this, especially with how much I've come to love these characters. And the third book in a trilogy is, like, for sure where shit goes down, isn't it? So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But I enjoyed it a lot. I have also, since we last spoke, read some of White Rage. I cannot remember this author's name, Carol something, I'll put it here. I'm not very far into that though. I think I'm only like 50 or 60 pages into that, because I've been focusing on this because I know I needed to have it finished by Sunday. So yeah, that's that. I've learned a lot from the first 60 pages of White Rage though. It's given us a lot of American history. Being British, when I read Why I'm No Longer Talking to White People About Race, I learned that there's a lot of British history that I don't know, because we learnt more American history. So the things I've learned from White Rage, like, definitely touches on some of my knowledge from learning American history in a British school, but not to that degree at all. Never to that degree. So, you know, it's an educational read for sure, and will further my understanding of the racial divide. I'm looking forward to reading more on that and learning more myself. But I think I'm going to take it pretty slow. I don't want to rush it and, like, try and gobble it all up too quickly. I don't know if I'm going to read anything else this evening or not. Obviously Myth Take is still ongoing. I feel like I haven't really addressed that too much. But this was my second read for my Myth Take path, which is to read a book with a weapon on the cover, because there is an axe in this wolf's hand. For my first read, I was supposed to read Dark Whispers by Vashti Hardy, but the Myth Take girls have lifted the rules for Myth Take so that we could change our TBRs. So I'm gonna use Maya and the Rising Dark for my first book, which was the anticipated read one, because I was excited about that one. So I am now 2 books down, which means I'm going into my third read for Myth Take, which is The Final Empire, the first book in the Mistborn trilogy. I am scared. It's another chunker, like going from one chunker straight into another. I kind of want a break, and I'm thinking like maybe I should read Murder Most Unladylike instead, or possibly even Dark Whispers, which I was supposed to read as my first Myth Take read, but I don't know. But for Myth Take, their first 24-hour readathon is happening tomorrow, which means midnight tonight. And I don't think I'm going to stay up for the full 24 hours, but I'm going to give it a good try. So I will probably come and check back in with you a little bit later when I've decided what I'm doing. As for now, I'm gonna go and get dinner out of the oven because it's probably burning. Hello, it's just gone 9 PM on Friday and the 24-hour readathon for Myth Take starts at midnight tonight. So I'm gonna get ready for bed and go to bed for a few hours, or a couple of hours at least, to get some sleep in, because I think I'm gonna try and do the full 24 hours. I normally can when I do Read-a-thon, so that should be right. Although for Read-a-thon I have like keeping up with socials to keep me going and stuff, which obviously I won't have for someone else's, but I'm gonna give it a go. So to prep myself, I'm gonna go to bed, and I have decided that I'm gonna read The Final Empire. I doubt I will read all of it, but hopefully I can get a decent chunk of this done. Yeah, I haven't started. I will start it at midnight, because as I say, I'm going to go and prep and go to bed. But before I do that, I'm going to make a sneak, because me and Jake have ordered Sneak recently. It's like an energy drink replacement thing. Sort of like a protein shake, I suppose, but energy drink instead. And you get the little, like, powder sachets, or at least the sachets, because they're the just sampled tasters, so we know which flavours we like, before we get, like, the proper pots of it. But I'm gonna go for the blue raspberry one, and just mix it with water in the shaker. It's no sugar, low calorie, supposedly full of all sorts of vitamins and stuff, and is better than energy drink. Apparently gives you more energy than, say, a Monster. And I mean, I love Monster, we all know I love Monster, but I've definitely built up some sort of immunity to the energy that it gives me, because I've had a Monster today and could happily have a nap. I have Monster quite often and it doesn't really do much for my energy levels, so we're gonna give this a go. And I got myself the orange shaker because orange is my thing currently. Obviously I'm going to be including the 24 hours in this vlog, so this vlog will go from having no content, hopefully loads. Hello, it is just midnight. Literally that's just ticked over onto midnight. So it's now the Myth Take 24-hour readathon. As I said, I'm going to do it in this vlog, so yeah. I said to you a couple of hours ago that I was going to read Mistborn Book 1, The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson. I then proceeded to get not a lot of sleep, so I'm actually going to kick off with reading Dark Whispers by Vashti Hardy. I'm really excited about this, but it's going to be much easier. It's a sequel to a world I already know, and it's a middle grade, so it's going to be easier for me to read whilst I'm not fully awake, but just whilst I'm still a bit like groggy. I'm going to read this, and I think I'm going to read it for the featuring an animal witchy prompt. I don't need that for my path, because my path is the mercenary path, which is anticipated read and weapon on the cover, which I've read, then magic battle, swapping over to witch, and then occult themes. So this is just an extra bit of witchy training for my character with animal in it, because there are these little like flying squirrel looking, maybe not flying squirrels, they look a bit more sinister than that, all over the cover, so I assume there's going to be some of them involved. So yeah, I'm going for that. And then we will read this later in the day. So yeah, I'm going to go grab my Sneak out of the fridge and read bliss. I think I might be admitting defeat this time. It's just gone 2 a.m, but I really do not think I'm gonna make it. I'm so tired. But reading wise, I am 124 pages in. I'm currently in the middle of a chapter. I'm gonna continue reading, but I'm gonna get in bed and continue reading, and then probably not make it. It's because I didn't get like any sleep beforehand, like maybe half an hour. That's not enough. I'm really tired, and I had like 2/3 of my energy drink and still tired. So yeah, but so far with Dark Whispers, so good. It's done a really good job of like recapping the details from the first one. Like if there were things that you had forgotten, it's recapped the important bits, and like straight back into the action. Obviously we've got the same characters, we're still following Arthur and Maudie from the first book, and Harriet and the crew of the Aurora, and it's straight back into the action, and this time they've gone to the Eastern Isles, so it's going well, and it's such a fast-paced read. Like already 124 pages in within a couple of hours, and I haven't been reading like solidly for those couple of hours. So yeah, I'm gonna get in bed and read some more and then probably fall asleep because I'm just too tired this time, unfortunately. I did not plan ahead anywhere near enough. So the 24-hour thing was a massive failure for me. It's like midday-ish. I don't know where my phone is. Yeah, it's about midday on Saturday now. I went to sleep eventually at about 3:30 in the morning, after getting about 200 pages into Dark Whispers, and then I woke up at about 6:30 because I was planning on getting up again. Woke up at about 6:30 and was like really dizzy, headachy, not feeling good, felt a bit like it could be migraine-y, so I thought like fuck this and went back to sleep, and then got up again at like 9. I've read a little bit, been on the phone to my dad, had things to sort out, so reading has not been massively successful so far this morning, but I am halfway through Dark Whispers, so I'm gonna chill out and read the second half of this now. It should only take like a few hours. And then we'll crack on with the Final Empire after that. But yeah, I'm going to settle down and read Dark Whispers. Hello, I barely vlogged anything yesterday, considering it was supposed to be a 24-hour read-a-thon. Oops! But life kind of just happened yesterday. I ended up having to help my dad out with some paperwork and stuff for work that he needed doing, so I spent quite a bit of time doing that, unfortunately, and then when it came to like doing dinner, me and Jake realised that we were missing a lot of things and had to go into a food shop, so it just didn't really happen for me yesterday. That being said, I did finish Dark Whispers. I have not yet put it through Corpile, despite it being like 4 o'clock on Sunday now. But yeah, I haven't done that yet. Today's also been a little bit wild. Me and G went on an Animal Crossing villager hunt, which was fun. And then drama ensued. Jake's family's dog escaped, ran away, and distresses. So Jake's been out doing that. I've been here, like, waiting in case he came back here and so on, but found him safe and sound, thankfully. Now, life is still going on. I need to go to my mother's because she needs to leave the house for the first time in, like, however long, and needs someone to look after the children, so I'm gonna have to babysit in the garden, socially distanced. Like, fortunately their garden is kind of like fenced off in 2 separate sections, so there's like the grassy section fenced off with like the kids' toys and the pool and the trampoline, and then a little ways over there's a fenced off like patio section, so I'll be in the patio section and the kids will be in the grass section, and I can keep an eye on them from a distance. So that's what I'm going to go and do now, and I'm going to take the Final Empire with me because I haven't started it yet. I had wanted to start it and get a decent chunk of it done yesterday, and yeah, life happened, so that didn't happen. And then later tonight, when things are a bit more chill and I have time to actually sit on my laptop, do core pile, then we'll do a core pile rating of Dark Whispers, but I think it's going to be a 5-star. I loved Brightstorm so much and that was a 5-star, so I think Dark Whispers, which I love just as much, is probably going to be a 5-star as well. And then later tonight, I've got the Catch Up Book Club live show for Becca's book club for Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb. So busy day, busy day. But yeah, I'm gonna go to my mum's, sit in her little patio section and read my book whilst keeping an eye on the children from a distance. Gosh, hopefully things will calm down. So, long story short, I'm a liar. I never started The Final Empire. It's Monday now. Yesterday was just really busy. I thought I would be able to read when I was babysitting the kids yesterday, or kids sitting, they're not babies, you know, from a distance, but the children, they need talking to, even from a distance. So I didn't get that done, and then got home, had dinner, and then had the live show for Royal Assassin, so didn't get any reading in, unfortunately. I did say I was going to come back to you with my core pile for Dark Whispers, so we will go over that quickly now because I did read this one this week, and you know what, reading this and Royal Assassin in a week is okay. Like, that's a decent number of pages for the week. It's 1,077 pages for the week, so that's okay. Anyway, I predicted this would be a 5-star because the first one was a 5-star and I loved it, and I love this just as much, and it was. In fact, I filled in my core pile and it came out at the exact same score as Brightstorm, which is a 9 overall, which is a 5-star. And then I thought I would just compare like my individual ratings to what I gave the first one, and I gave it exactly the same. So it's a 9 for characters, love them, 10 for atmosphere. Again, I mean, the atmosphere in Brightstorm is like special to me because it's polar fantasy and I love that. This wasn't, this was like tropical, but still like the atmosphere was incredible and I loved it so much. So I gave it a 10 for that. 9 for writing, 9 for plot, 9 for intrigue, 8 for logic, I mean, which is still pretty high, but like there were definitely a couple of bits where I was like, what? And 9 for enjoyment. So there we go. It came out at a 9 overall, which is a 5-star. Hooray, I loved it. I never started this and I haven't got any further with White Rage. I think I'm still like 60 pages into that. But I don't, as I explained, I'm not gonna rush that. I'm probably gonna read a chapter of that here and there. I don't know what this vlog's been. I feel like I've forgotten an awful lot of this week, so I'm not gonna really know what you've seen until I've edited it. But as I say, it's Monday, so I'm now going to import all that footage and edit it and see what we're left with. I really can't remember though. So I hope you've enjoyed this vlog, whatever it's been. If you have, give it a thumbs up, chat to me down below. And before anyone asks about what core pile is, what I've just taken you through, it's G from Book Roast rating system. If you go to her channel, search core pile, CAWPILE. It's a rating system where you break it down to characters, atmosphere, writing, plot, intrigue, logic, enjoyment. Spells out core pile. You rate each of those out of 10, and then it gives you a more accurate, like, averaged star rating, just to save the questions. But yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you have enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Bye!